Hello everyone and welcome to TNV Academy. My name is Devarshika and today we are going to explore implantation testing as outlined in ISO 10993-6. This part of the ISO 10993 standard is focused on assessing the biocompatibility of medical devices that come into long-term contact with body tissues. What is implantation testing? Implantation testing is used to evaluate the local biological effects of medical device materials that are implanted in living tissue. By implanting a device or material into an animal model, we can observe how the tissue responds, which helps us understand if it is safe and compatible for human use. Purpose of ISO 10993-6. ISO 10993-6 specifies procedures to assess tissue reactions around or near the implant site, helping to detect any signs of inflammation, toxicity, or adverse cellular reaction. This testing is especially critical for long-term implants, such as orthopedic implants, cardiovascular devices, and other materials that remain in the body over time. Steps in implantation testing. Selecting the implantation site. The testing process begins by selecting the appropriate implantation site in the test animal. This location should closely replicate the human implantation site to provide relevant data. For example, a material intended for bone contact would be tested by implanting it in our near bone tissue in the animal model. ISO 10993-6 requires a controlled study design. This includes using both test samples and control materials to compare tissue responses. The control material is typically something known to be biocompatible, providing a baseline to evaluate any adverse reaction caused by the test materials. Implantation procedure. The material is surgically implanted into the selected tissue following strict aseptic and ethical standards. After implantation, the test animals are monitored over a specified period depending on the intended duration of use of the device, short-term, long-term, or permanent. Observing tissue reactions. After the implantation period, the surrounding tissue is carefully examined for biological responses. This involves assessing for inflammation, fibrosis, necrosis, or any other negative tissue changes. ISO 10993-6 specifies how these tissue reactions should be scored and interpreted. Histopathological Analysis. A histopathological analysis is conducted to examine the tissue structure and cellular reactions in detail. This involves examining thin slices of tissue under a microscope to evaluate cellular responses. It provides crucial insights into the tissue's response, helping identify any toxicity, immune reactions, or other adverse effects at a microscopic level. Data interpretation and reporting. The final step is to interpret and document the results. ISO 10993-6 requires a detailed report describing the observed tissue responses, any signs of adverse effect, and the comparison with the control material. This documentation is essential for demonstrating the device material is safe and biocompatible for its intended use. Importance of implantation testing. Implantation testing in ISO 10993-6 is critical because it provides a realistic assessment of how the device will behave inside the body. For implants intended to remain in the body for long periods, confirming biocompatibility through implantation testing is essential to ensure patient safety and regulatory compliance. To sum up, ISO 10993-6 implantation testing assesses how medical device materials interact with living tissue. By closely observing tissue reactions, manufacturers can ensure their devices are both safe and effective for their intended use in patients. Thank you for joining me today for this overview of implantation testing in ISO 10993-6. This testing process is a vital step in guaranteeing the biocompatibility and safety of medical implants. If you have any question, feel free to ask, and if you have found value in our videos, please do subscribe to our channel and share it with your professional colleagues. Thank you.